can use force on protesters when required. Defense Minister reacts to Lekki Tollgate protest. The Minister of Defense, Bashir Magashi, has said that the security agencies can use force when required to deal with protesters. You see, the phrasing here already shows that something is wrong. To deal with protesters, they're not something that you deal with, you work with. You don't deal with them like as if there's some sort of nuisance, when it has been very, very clear, very, very evident and obvious that they are unarmed and they are not even trying to be violent in any kind of way. Of course, they have their tactics to try and frame the protesters, but of course, it will not work. We can use minimum force commensurate with what is seen on the ground, he said. Magashi slammed the peaceful protesters, saying the military and the government would not allow another round of protests to happen because the, quote, unpatriotic elements infiltrating the protesters. What are the unpatriotic elements? We knew that you don't even understand what you're saying, because obviously you don't understand how is it unpatriotic? It's patriotic because they're fighting for their lives. They're asking for the bare minimum. That we're risking our lives to ask for the bare minimum. Magashi, according to the cable, the defense minister stated this on Sunday in reaction to the hashtag Occupy Lekki Tollgate protest. At the Saturday morning rally, more than 30 protesters, including Debo Adebayo, a Nigerian comedian better known as Mr. Macaroni, were arrested by some security operatives. The protesters have, however, been arraigned before a mobile court in Lagos and granted bail. Speaking on Saturday after participating in the All Progressive Congress's revalidation exercise in Kano State, honestly, these events are just so... What these events do, you try to form and act busy, but all you're busy doing is stealing money and continuing to breed corruption in the state. The minister alleged that some of the protesters are rogues and thieves. Nope. The fact is, you people, you know yourselves, have strategically planned to frame the protesters for things that you have recruited hoodlums to go and do. That is the fact, because they came peacefully, not doing anything. The fact is that over 200 policemen were there at the venue, but still there was no peace. For the fact that 200 of you were there, and let's not even say it wasn't even up to 100 protesters there, and yet you were able to arrest, it wasn't even able to go as peaceful as possible. Like, do these police people actually know that we're fighting for the same thing? We're fighting for you to have a better system, Because, even on Twitter, people were surprised that we're like, oh, so the actual police force has uniforms? They actually have equipment? I mean, we thought these people were broke, but no. I mean, these ones seem to be the well-fed ones who obviously have their benefits. Wow. He said this N⁰RC issue, if you recall, the Minister of Information has briefed the nation and alerted that something like this is coming, and we know we are always prepared. Really? Are you always prepared? Well, why is it that for all these years, guys have not been prepared to attack and defend, the country against Boko Haram? This is our job to ensure internal security. We must plan for it. We do not want to be taken by surprise. Yo, these people just be spewing. And if you like us to be taken by surprise, then there is no need to call us protectors. If N⁰RC is to take place today, we will ensure that we have peaceful counter plans, peaceful, to ensure that mistakes are not made in protecting the people. Wow. You know the composition of the N⁰RC crowd? Over 60% of them are people who don't even know why they are there. Really? I mean, this just shows how these politicians have lost their grip or lost touch of what their people, of who their people are, what their requests are. And then you bringing over 200 policemen shows how much you are threatened of the people. Again, I feel like if you change the perspective on it, they are scared. They understand the power in numbers, and so they had to come prepared, because the last time they knew that they were caught unawares. But it's just the fact in how they're exposing themselves to the world. I mean, of course, we want them to be exposed to the world, of course, but it's just like, are you guys not embarrassed? You travel the world and exposure, you get all these, you go to all these events and meetings, and yet your reputation is absolutely, it doesn't even speak for you. Some of them are rogues. Some of them are there to steal. They want to do whatever they think. See, that's the thing. I mean, this gives us an insight into their perception of us. They don't rate us. They will kill at any moment if they want to, because they've proven to do that so many times. So they've just proven so much that they do not care. They've proven that they've underestimated us to such a level of lack of intelligence in every aspect, that they actually believe they can defeat us every time, but it will not work. The minister added that the government would not allow unpatriotic elements to destabilize the country under any guise. We are not going to be harsh on anybody. Well, one of the people you've killed and lack of compensation for the last massacre. We will maintain the law and peace to the best of our ability. Is the ability even existent? Because for years you guys have not been enforcing and maintaining the law and peace. So I don't understand. Someone here says use force to attack bandits and Boko Haram, not peaceful protesters, because every citizen has their right to protest, especially if the government fails to do the right thing. Absolutely, because he is definitely proven by saying we will not allow. It shows that they actually believe they're in power, and this democracy thing is just for the show. It's just for decoration. Someone says those hoodlums infiltrated by government to disrupt peaceful protest last year. What have you done about it? Or are you planning to call the bad name for you to hang it? Since defense minister can't defend Nigeria against terrorism, but always show muscles against peaceful protesters who are unarmed, we are going to defend ourselves against government hoodlums, period. And I think that at this point, everyone's arguing, everyone's on different sides, but the fact is, when you're trying to be there's no point trying to make points or be intellectual in communicating to these people, because they're not. The energy you give is what you receive. So they're giving us this violent energy, and it's just like, what do you expect from the people? You aggravate them so much, and they believe that they can win. And of course, again, I have to reiterate, it is absolutely fine to feel traumatized. It is absolutely fine to have fear. It is absolutely fine. They've done this so many times, but what is different this time around is that we know their tactics, and we know how to come up and re-strategize and still fight for what is ours and what we believe is ours, because we can't just continue to bear. We can't just continue to, at the end of the day, people should not be risking their lives to leave the country. That shows how much of a rubbish state it is in, because why are people traveling abroad for what? We should only travel abroad for valid reasons like holiday, jobs, whatever, visitation, that kind of thing. But then if you're traveling out to basically live and survive, if you're home, there's just so much that's actually wrong. Another person here says apply your force on bandits and Boko Haram. At this point, they haven't. We've been telling them this. They haven't. They have not. Somebody even said on Twitter that if we want secure streets, as in if we want, if we want a place that's filled with security, let's just plan a protest. Then at least we will know that these people will show up. It has gotten to this part, and it is highly exhausting, bad. But at the end of the day, we cannot be down. We cannot be distracted. They've done this so many times. Again, you have to realize the people that are in power have been in power since Nigeria got its independence. So these people are experienced when it comes to mass relations and oppression. They are experienced, but we have to, go above that, and of course, fight for what we want. Of course, wherever it's gonna be, this is just the tip of the iceberg, and imagine how 2023 will be. Again, if the defense minister can't defend Nigeria, what are we meant to do? Each region actually has to defend themselves, and that's just the reality of it all. Put what you think in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.